You're listening to Rebel Hearts Rising, where we believe your darkest hour holds the key to awakening depth and profound inner wisdom. I'm Tam Burke, and I created this to remind you that when your heart wants to shut down, that's your call to rise, like a phoenix from the ashes. What makes this unique is that every episode is paired with a guided meditation to help awaken your intuition and heal on deeper layers. Together, we'll turn pain into power. All right, y'all. Welcome to Rebel Hearts Rising. My name is Tam, and I'm super happy to be here with you. Today might be short, and it also might be a rant because I gotta tell you, it blows my mind that a woman's body can make a penis. Hold on, let me explain. I'm going to be 35 this year, and I'm starting to think about conceiving and making a family. And it's like kind of wild how we gatekeep all of this information about pregnancy. And it's even crazier that we're not talking about how much of a miracle, like straight up, truly magic pregnancy is. Like all of a sudden, if I'm blessed, my body becomes a portal to bring another human being into this earth. And let's just say that doesn't even break your brain. My body can build bones and skin and organs, all without any manual. Okay. And then here's where it gets even crazier. It makes sense to me that my human female body can make another human female body. But my female body can make a male body. Like, have you ever really stopped to think about that? Truly, my body, without any kind of manual, without being told what to do, without any research, knows how to make a dick. Like, what the That's the craziest thing I've ever heard of. And my sister, my younger sister, she had a boy, and I guess I thought it was weird during that time. Like, wow, my sister's body made a boy. Women's body. That's why I'm in all pink. Time to celebrate women. Like, we are straight up mythical, magical creatures. Like, truly, it is wild. Honestly, I've been thinking about this episode for a while, and I'm still kind of speechless as to how women can make male body parts. And here's the thing that makes me so freaking mad, I can barely talk about it. I've been asking women, like, well, what's the deal with your intuition? You know, like, why don't you train it? Or why have you never thought about training it? Or, like, why don't you lean on your intuition more? And you know, a lot of women tell me they're afraid. It's like, I totally get that, because also when I was an accountant and I had very weird spiritual experiences, it freaked me out. It truly freaked me out. And yet, our intuition is as natural as our periods. Our intuition is as natural, one might say supernatural, like supernatural and super comma natural, as making a penis inside of your body when you're pregnant. And this is where I think we've really taken the power away from women. Men are super magical creatures too, and gotta give her a shout out, right? We could not make babies without them. They energetically kickstart the entire process for us. But damn, y'all, we literally have the ability to build human bones and body parts inside of us. And we're afraid of training our intuition. I'm also afraid of being pregnant. Don't get me wrong. Seems like it could be quite uncomfortable. Also heard it could be quite amazing, and you don't know what you're going to get, right? Oh, what a lesson in letting go. And why is it that we fear the supernatural part of ourselves? Why is it that we don't talk about the incredible things a woman's body does? And this is where I get even more mad sometimes, is because we think sometimes that we need like step-by-step processes. And don't get me wrong, when I teach intuition, your girl was an accountant. Truly, I was an accountant, right? Like I love a how-to, love a reconciliation, love a step-by-step framework. That actually is how I teach intuition. Because once you realize like how easy it actually is to call upon this mystical, magical power within inside of you that's actually as normal as your period that comes every single month, you start to demysticize or almost like take it off the pedestal and realize that it's this natural part of you. But you don't need to train your intuition. You don't need to know how to use it. It already exists inside of you. Your intuition is like spiritual coding in your body. Just like your body has some kind of weird codes to make male anatomy. It's crazy. And this is where I get even more mad. I told y'all it was going to be a little bit of a rant today. Because why don't we trust our bodies? Like, okay, I trust my body to build a human, but I don't trust the gut feelings that I'm getting. Like, I truly don't even know how to talk about that in a way that it makes sense. And so I hope that what this episode does for you is it makes you realize, especially as a woman, I think males' bodies do stuff too, but I don't know as much about them, right? I'm just being honest. And truly, I didn't even really start thinking about this until I started to entertain the idea of making my own family and like seeing what this body can do, you know? What might happen if we realized that there was potent, wild, ancient magic inside of us? How would we better trust ourselves? Because this is also something that I come across in all of my coaching with my clients, with myself, with every human, to be honest, is that we don't trust ourselves. Where is that coming from? Because if we have this ability to become a human portal, to create life without a manual, without looking it up, like it's not like each week, I mean, you know, there are these apps that's like, oh, your baby's the size of a cucumber. I don't think that's the right vegetable. Like your baby's the size of a kiwi and then your baby's the size of an eggplant, you know? Maybe there's a cucumber in there. Let me know in the comments. But it's not like each week we're getting step by step like, okay, this week we're going to make an eyeball. And this week we're going to make, you could not pay attention your whole pregnancy. And don't they have a TV show like I didn't know I was pregnant and then you have a baby? You can carry on with your life. I mean, maybe take your prenatal vitamins and do the things that the doctor tells you. Not pay attention and your body will do it. And so I want us to take that same level of reverence, that same, honestly, it's insanity. I can't even. And apply that to your own magic. And you know what else I hear? Often from women, they're too afraid to be woo. Bitch, do you know what the most woo thing is? That you can make another human body. Even more so that you can literally grow male anatomy. Like, that's woo. And what if actually we dismantled the idea of woo and actually realized that woo was really talking about wisdom? And don't get me wrong, okay? I've been in the world of spirituality for a long time. I owned like a spiritual center in Boulder County. I know what ungrounded spirituality looks like. And that's the thing that I really love about the work that I do is I was an accountant. I have my MBA. I was on this like rigid, fast track, this get shit done woman thing until I started to have spiritual experiences that made me be like, oh, what's going on here? The math isn't mathing. And so often for people, it takes them to have their own spiritual experience. And maybe we've talked about this in the podcast, but it's so wild because I had a client tell me recently that she's starting to let people know that she's doing more intuitive work or that she's investing in her intuition and the wild changes that it's making in her life. Stuff like closing on a house for under asking and getting the email at 4:44 p.m. Like, come on. The universe is like, hello, are you listening? You know? Or getting stumped about something that she's supposed to do for her company, literally can't come up with the answer, closed her eyes, asked her intuition, came up with an answer, so much so that it made her CEO notice her. Like, y'all, we're sitting here training ChatGPT like it's our damn life, and our intuition is sitting here like, excuse me, what's happening? Okay, sorry. I just watched, no spoiler alerts, huge Amazing Race fan, and the current season, I think it's the current season or the last season. Anyways, there's a character in there who I freaking love. I won't give too much away. Like, we're outsourcing our power to ChatGPT. We're too afraid to be woo, but our bodies are portals that bring human beings into the world where we don't need any kind of manual or need to figure anything out on how to do it. And whoop, there comes like a human baby. Coming back to this client, I really went on a tangent there. She had someone reflect back to her that they thought it was weird, and she felt like she got gut punched. And I know this feeling. When I was early on into my spiritual journey, or really actually until I got canceled, I couldn't come out and say I was psychic. Like, if even a year ago me was watching this, she would be cringing. Like, oh my God, this girl is claiming she's a psychic on the internet for people to see. And do you know what actually helped me? I've done, at this point, hundreds of intuitive sessions where me and the client are both sitting there like, what the freak? How could I have known that? How could I have known that? And so I've started to create experiences for myself every day that I see magic is real. But the truth of the matter is, magic is hiding in plain sight in front of us all the time. Through pregnancy. Through human portals. How about love? How about the way that we find people that we're meant to be with? How about every time you look at the clock and it's 1:11 or 4:44? There's all of these little winks that are happening all the time if we're willing to pay attention. And this is what I love doing in my world. I love teaching women just how intuitive you actually already are. And that your intuition is always talking, but you're just seriously ghosting her. You know what it's like? It's like if you were to get all dressed up, you're about to go on a date with your man, and you've got the whole outfit on, hair done, makeup done, like in the mirror, you're like, dang, I look good, right? Not from this like puff way, but just from like really admiring yourself and being like, oh, I put effort into this. And then going out and your man's like, cool, are you ready? And you're like, and he's like, all right, let's go. And you're like, hello, I didn't dress up for you. I dressed up for me, but like you can say that you like it. You're ghosting your intuition like that all the time. Seriously. She's like whispering some things to you. You ignore it. I can't tell you how often I get on with a psychic intuitive session with people and they're like, oh yeah, I had been hearing those whispers. But we ignore them. Or we get freaked out. We're like, am I schizophrenic? Like, what are all of these voices? And I come from a real place of privilege because I've worked through my fears of being woo. I've worked through people making fun of me. It was through the gift of getting canceled that I decided, you know what? If people are going to talk shit anyways, then I might as well be who I am. And I might as well, like, really, the thing that I want to give most to other women is to know how magical you are. And kind of like a fingerprint, actually, all of our magic, while similar, has our own unique print on it. And I love showing you what yours is. And I love teaching you methods like meditation and hindsight and different exercises that bring all of these intuitive gifts online. It's like truly the greatest gift to help other women realize the potency that they have, the ancient wisdom, the spiritual coding that exists in our bodies. And for a lot of us, that's where it exists. We get these gut feelings. I'll prove to you that you're more intuitive than you think in less than 5 seconds. Are you ready? You know when someone's mad before they even say anything. You know when someone's sad before they say anything. Right? As women especially, we're like, oh, what's wrong? And they're like, nothing. And you're like, no, I can tell. How often do you know someone's upset before they even know they're upset? Especially as women, because sexual connection with our partners, how often do you know what's going on for your partner and they don't know? Y'all, you are way more intuitive than you think. And I hear women even talking about their magic and talking about these gut feelings, but they won't claim their intuitive selves. And so I think this is my mission in the world. I want to remind everyone that your wounds have so much wisdom, especially if you have the bravery to really pull the threads on why that pain exists in your life and what it's meant to give you. And the second thing that I'm so freaking passionate about is really teaching women that you are more intuitive, more magical than you could ever imagine. And often it takes a teacher or a guide to bring you into that depth in yourself. Part of where my confidence came from was doing all of these intuitive sessions and getting feedback from people and asking for testimonials and reading them and almost being like, oh my God, are these about me? We have such a hard time seeing ourselves. Men, women, doesn't matter. As human beings, we have a hard time seeing yourselves. And that's the potency of having a teacher in your life, is because they get to reflect your magic back to you. How potent to have someone in your life that's constantly pointing out, didn't you see this intuitive piece? And didn't you see this? And don't you see how you created this with your intuition? I have clients who come to me and they want to work on intuition. And I'm like, Doc, what are you talking about? Like, the thing that you need to work on is recognizing that it's actually already happening. And like a woman in a relationship, when you give her love and praise and admiration, the level of devotion that woman has can't be met by anything else. And so that's why I like to look at our relationship to our intuition, our relationship to our higher self, as a relationship in and of itself. A client actually recently called me a relationship coach for her and her higher self. Because what I'm really doing is I'm bridging the gap, just like a relationship coach might. I'm teaching you how to communicate with one another. I'm teaching you the subtle ways that you're ignoring her that's actually making her want to say, bye, I'm going to Italy for the summer, see ya. And how when you praise her, your intuition, when you are constantly thanking her, this level of communication changes. And so that's why, okay, I'm going to be honest. If I had my a little bit more together, I would tell you exactly when this podcast is coming out and when this free masterclass is happening. But I'm doing a 3-day free masterclass. May have already happened, in which case the replay is available. Because truly in my heart of heart, I just really want to show you that you are magic. And that can be evidenced through the shocking tagline that you can literally make a penis. And so I would love to invite conversations. Please send me DMs. I want to know what's holding you back from training your intuition. Where do you feel like you're not magic? Where are you witnessing your magic and you want more of it? Because I truly believe that a woman who steps into her intuitive power becomes her own inner authority. She stops relying on feedback and validation, and she stops seeking outside of herself. And you'll become the most confident version of yourself because you are always led. Do you know what it feels like to go through the challenges of life and know that you're going to be guided? To plug into a higher power and follow the breadcrumbs that they leave for you. That's the kind of confidence that, you know, there's whole industries built around trying to make women feel like we're less. That you need makeup and you need Spanx and you need whatever. You always need all of this stuff. The only thing that you need is to reclaim your freaking power, to claim your intuitive voice, and to follow your own inner knowing. And I'm so grateful that I did that for myself because it created things like I literally grew up on food stamps. And then became the first person in my family to go to college and the first person in my family to go to grad school. I became a multi-7-figure spiritual entrepreneur because I learned how to follow my intuitive voice. I did things that didn't make sense to anyone, like when I quit my high-paying corporate job to go become a spiritual entrepreneur, a yoga teacher. And everybody made fun of me. Like, hello, what are you doing? And this is the thing that intuition offers you, is that even when it doesn't make sense, you know how to follow your gut's guidance. And in this masterclass, I'm going to show you all of the different ways that your intuition communicates, because what's happening, I've found for a lot of people, is they confuse it with thoughts. They think they're thinking, but actually it's intuitive guidance. And so we start to pull back the layers on, do you think, do you feel, do you hear, do you know, do you see? Does it just exist in your body? Like, call it spiritual lightning, right? One day when I owned my yoga studio business, I was sitting at my desk and it was like I literally got struck with spiritual lightning, and it was just like, you need to coach now. And I was like, okay, great. And I followed that. And that's created this whole wild, amazing business for me where I get to live my passion. And so I want to invite you to do the same thing. And I'm telling you, it is not because I'm special. It is not because my clients are special. It's because they've chosen to train their intuition. And that's, I thought this was going to be a short episode, if I'm being honest, because I thought I was going to get on here and rant and go, but my heart, I guess, had other ideas. Because that's the thing, like, damn, I want you to have awe and wonder and admiration for yourself the same way that I do about women's bodies being able to make men's bodies. Like, even that sentence, I think ChatGPT would be like, did you mean to say that? It's wild that that's true. And with that same wildness, I invite you to share this podcast with another woman, to invite in her inner strength, to let her know that she is more magical than she could ever even conceptualize. Even still, y'all, I teach this stuff and sometimes I'm like, what? That is so cool. How did that happen? Because part of living in your magic is also living in mystery. Constantly being surprised by how amazing life is, by how magical life is. You know what I think about a lot, actually? Intuition, magic, energetics is a lot like Santa Claus. And if you don't believe, it doesn't happen. And it is with that belief that you start to create more and more of it. And that's why myself and my clients and the people in my world have so much magic, is because we're constantly pointing it out to one another. So, a couple things. Please send this to a woman to let her know how freaking magical she is. 2, DM me the word intuition and let's just have a conversation back and forth around your intuition. I want to know more about it, because the more that I know about women and how we relate to our intuition, the more that I get to create super badass trainings to help us step even more into this intuitive prowess, to realize that our intuition is as natural, some might say supernatural, like our periods and like pregnancy. Thanks for being here, y'all. I really appreciate it.